Hi there, welcome to Floating in Books. Today I'm going to be flipping through my reading journal with you. So, welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. In this video, I'm going to flip through my reading journal that I finished setting up around the Christmas period. I had big plans to film me setting up all of these spreads, but unfortunately it took me way too long and my camera just could not be functioning for that long. So therefore I thought I could just flip through this, and if you have any other ideas for what I can do with my reading journal, I would love to know. But I had been testing out a bullet journal for myself in 2024, thinking I just want to try and see how I feel about bullet journaling and what works for me and what doesn't. So I set up a bullet journal. I even tried one as an agenda, but it just didn't really work for me to keep track of things daily or using it as an agenda. I swear by my Moleskine weekly planner, so I've had those for over a decade and I just cannot break out of that mold. So I thought that once I was doing that, I actually set up a part of that journal as a reading journal a little bit later already in 2024, and that was the part I would go back to, and that was the part of the journal that I would actually still use from time to time to update my reading goals and to see how many pages I had read. So I know a lot of people are sick and tired of using Goodreads, and I can see why. I don't love Goodreads either. I just really like using it to just keep track of what I'm reading in general, but I've never tried to do anything more with it than I've read this book. So I've never used it to really keep track of my reading, and I just thought that having the insights of the reading journal last year was really helpful for me to film my update towards the end of the year, and I thought that I could make this a more regular thing on the channel so that whenever I do book reviews, we can also do something with this. So I thought I could show you what I had done to set it up to get us going for 2025, and then I can also tell you a little bit about the spreads that are in here. So this is just a quick little flip through. It's the Leuchtturm 1917, so that's the one that I bought. I last year had a really cheap journal that was under €5, but that had really thin pages and my markers would bleed through the pages. So that's why I decided to invest and buy a proper bullet journal. I really like the green color of this one. I thought it would look really nice. But this is set up to be used as an actual daily planner, which is what I wasn't going to use it for. So I did use some of the first couple of pages to just do a bit of junk journaling to cover those up because I knew I wasn't going to use them. So I did give myself a bit of an opening spread. I hope you can see. So I actually invested in an HP Sprocket because I saw a lot of booktubers and book journalers using that, and I thought that would be fun to be able to print the book covers of the books I've read and stick them in my reading journal. So I tested it out with a picture of myself so that we all know it's mine. And I had some stickers, and I just cut up some and stuck in some of the bookmarks that I have from bookstores I went to, and then I used some of the paper that I have to decorate it, and then some washi tape that's glittery. So that's how this page came to be. So that's the first page of the journal, and then this was one of those pages I just wanted to cover up, so I just sort of made a little spread with some decorative pages again that I had and some washi tape and some stickers, and I feel it looks really perfectly fine. Then I made myself a little index. I did put a couple of general things that I did use in my first journal. So my calendar, my future log, some goals. I'm going to be traveling to Japan in 2025, so I wrote the planning for my trip in here because I booked everything, like the flights and the hotels, during my Christmas break period as well. I really liked keeping track of my highlights of the year, so whenever I come across things that I really enjoyed, I would write that down, and that was a good thing to have. I like keeping track of things that I watch in a year, so TV series and movies, and I want to be better at keeping track of what I'm listening to because I listen to tons of music, but I never really register what it is that I'm listening to, so I made a bit of a spread for that as well. Those things I won't be showing you because those are just for me, so they are never going to be part of it, but I am going to take you through the bullet journal, reading journal section of this journal. But let me flip through and take you to the actual reading journal. And I decided to have the little tab here with the reading journal so it's easy for me to find. Again, I just made a little spread. I had a couple of stamps that I used to stamp it together. And again, I used some of the paper and the stickers and the washi tape that I have to set up the rest of this little spread. So rating system, I just thought this would be fun. I have this little thing that you can use to push these little stars out of paper. So I just made an overview page. Unfortunately, the stars are a bit too big to fit them all in one nice, neat little line here. Oh well. But I just thought it would be fun to have an overview of how I rate my books. So when it's a 5-star book for me, it's like the best book ever. I see people now giving 6-star ratings to books, and I'm like, I don't need that in my life. If I just thought it was a really good book, if I really loved it, it's 4 stars. That's where most of the books actually go. And if it's still a good book, and I would recommend it, but there were things about it that I didn't enjoy, but I still think it was okay, it's a 3-star read. If I really think it really wasn't for me, like I can see the appeal for a lot of other people, but I didn't really get into it, it's a 2-star read. 1 stars I rarely give because that's only saved for books where I think, why was this ever even published? So that's why that's the 1 star. I've got some reading goals for myself here. Again, made a little spread. So I want to read 50 books again this year, which I managed in 2024, so I was super proud of that. I want to finish the Poppy War series because I read book 1 in 2024, so I've got 2 more books to go. I want to try to read every single day. I'm already failing at it, but I put this on the list every year because it's a nice goal to have, even if I don't make it. I want to hit 2,000 subscribers on this YouTube channel, so let's see if we can make that happen. I want to read more diversely, and I want to finish the Crescent City series, because I wanted to start that in 2025, or at least towards the end of 2024. Oops. Almost skipped a page there, but this is my little countdown, so I have space for 54 books to tick them off, and I have a little coding system for the color markers so that if it's that color marker, then I can know like how I rated all of the different books. And then this is the A to Z challenge. I don't think I will be reading a book with the Y or the Z very likely, so that's why I left less space there. Then this is my little overview of like my 25 and 25, where I made a little Dutch door that goes into the bookshelf in a second. So I just wrote down some of the titles that I would like to get to. Some of these I moved in from 2024 because I had this little overview in my 2024 journal as well. Some of them are rereads I would like to do. Some of them are newer books I would like to get to. Some of them are very new to me and I've only just purchased them and I'm very curious after them. And some of them have been on my TBR for a while. But yeah, that's just something I would like to someday get to. It's not important that I complete this. Let's just be very real here. And then here, I saw this on so many creators' pages, and I do not draw. I cannot draw, people. And yet, somehow, I managed to draw a little fireplace with a chair here, a little window with a bookshelf down here, and some shelves above the fireplace. And if I fill out all of these books and color them in, I will have enough space for the 50 books. So this is just another way of me to keep track of and visualize how many books I've actually read. And I figured, hey, if I end up reading more books than 50, then I can always continue a couple of the books on top of the fireplace if need be. So I thought this was fun. And I had a little cat sticker, so I thought that was fun. Then I have my book bracket. I did it a little bit differently this time. Last year I didn't have a lot of space in my reading journal, so I set it up on one single page, so it got a bit messy. So this time around I also decided to not only do it on 2 pages, but to also have the best book of the year not be linear, so not have quarter 1 and quarter 2 compete with each other, but I've decided to put the first quarter up against the third quarter and the second quarter up against the fourth quarter. And that way I think it's going to be a little bit more fun to see what comes out of it. So this is like the second tier, and then I will pick my favorite book of the 2 that come out here, and then I pick my favorite of the 2 books that are here. So that way it's split just a little bit differently. Then I thought it would be fun to keep track of my top 10, and again I made a little flip in the middle, and then I just have like little gold stickers with little boxes that I drew where I can write down what my top 10 actually was towards the end of the year. And I really liked how this turned out with the little washi tape and the paper. Like, I put a lot more effort into it this year than I did last year. So here we have a book bingo. Again, I saw how to draw these disco balls on someone's TikTok, and I was like, I'm just gonna give it a whirl and see if I can make that work as well. And I had these metallic pens, so I really like how that came together. I just put on some things that I think will be feasible for me, and this way I can, like, again, cross things off if I think that will work out for me. So the page to the right was going to be something else, but I made a mistake, so I couldn't cover it up in any other way. So this page is just here for the aesthetics of having covered up a mistake in the journal. But I thought it was still cute. Here we have my little genre tracker. I had this one in last year as well, and I thought it was so helpful. I just had way too much space for the months, and this way I can just like tick off which genres I read every month and how many books I read in that genre, which is a great way to keep track of things. So I have fantasy on here, sci-fi, historical fiction, literary fiction, and nonfiction, but new this year is romance, detectives, and other. Detectives could also be mystery, thriller books, but I tend to read mainly historical fiction with detectives in them, but I decided to split that up to see how many books I read, whether there's like a problem to solve, you could say. And I did read some romance in 2024, and I wrote them in with the literary fiction category, but I felt they needed a different category, not because I read so much romance, because I want to see how much of the literary fiction I read is actually romance. I think I only read 2 romance books in 2024, so it's probably not going to be a lot, because I don't tend to enjoy romance novels, but the ones that I did enjoy, I think I want to read a couple more by. So there we go. This tracker is pages read, so here I can keep track of how many pages I've read every month. I had a look at 2024 and what my average roughly was, and I just set it up to be a little bit higher than that. I don't think I will be likely to hit more than 3,500 pages a month. It's not my aim to read as much as possible. It just isn't. I just like keeping track of things. Then I made 2 pixel overviews, and these little dates came with the journal that I bought, so there was a sticker page that was in there. It's like, oh great, because then I don't have to write that down. So this is the 365 days of reading, so I just want to be able to tick off with my little marker. Again, I have a color code for it right here, which days I actually did some reading, and then here I want to keep track of what books, like what type of book I finished on what day. So was it an audiobook, was it an ebook, or a physical copy? And then I have a little color coding system for that down here. And then I have my tracker. So I do want to track a couple of things. So I have 50 squares here, because I think if I read as much as 2024, I'm happy. So I wanted to read more diversely, so I have some color coding here for the categories. I always keep I always like keeping track of the distribution between male and female authors. I have my genres here again, because I just like keeping track of that. I was like, this way I can make it a bit more visual. My ratings, series, how many I've read, and then classics. I want to also be able to keep track of, like, when I read classics, I don't read too many. So again, not something I want to make like a full spread, but it's fun to be able to see how many classics I actually read in a given year. And then here I want to keep track of how many new books I bring in every single month. And then I have my yearly stats. Again, the little stickers that are up here are part of the journal that I have. So these are just my yearly stats. I want to keep track of the number of books I read every month, the number of pages I read every month, the number of genres I read every month, how many books I read from the TBR you already saw, how many new books I bring in, how many books were read on audio, paper, and ebook, and then I want to keep track of how many series I'm actually reading. So that's right there, and then I can do my totals at the end of the year for each category, and that was just really helpful. And then I have a little book log. Here I just have enough space, I hope, for 50 books. I set up 3 little spreads like this where I have author, title, rating, number of pages, whether it's a reread, yes or no, the source, so paper, ebook, or audiobook, the gender of the author, and the date I finished it. And I did get myself a little library stamp type of thing, so I can stamp it off really aesthetically pleasing, I hope. And I did have reread on this overview before, and I wanted to add it, and then I forgot to do it, and I was like, I'll just add it here. But yeah, how many books I've reread, if there are any. I don't reread too many books, maybe once or twice a year, so again, I'm like, this way I can just have that overview here. It doesn't really matter. Then I wanted to have a spread where I can have my reading year in covers. Again, I estimated it would take 3 pages if I do end up reading 50 books. If I have like the little picture at the beginning, if I'm able to get like 4 covers out of that, then it would be good, because you can use the Sprocket app to set it up in like a little collage, and then you can cut it, and it should come with stickers to begin with, so that should be fine. So that's there. And then this I've called a TBR, but I decided that this, rather than an actual TBR, could be the new books I buy. Those are, of course, TBR books, but I figured that this could be an overview of all the new books I buy, so I can just write them on these pages. Again, something I did a bit of junk journaling on, because this way I just thought it would look cute put together. And then here I want to put all of my book reviews. And with book reviews, I'm not sure yet whether I want to do, because I think I have plenty of space, because I still have this much space left. I think I have enough pages to do a double spread for every book I read. So then I can like do a bit of junk journaling with like the picture of the cover, and like making the title a little bit pretty with like stamps or whatever, and then like write an actual review and like have some like colors or images that go with the book really nicely. That is sort of the way I had planned it. Maybe use my little hole punch to like punch out the star rating I gave it. And that's the type of thing I would like to do with you guys live on camera. Like do a wrap up where I am just like putting these pages together, and maybe do a bit of a voiceover to tell you a little bit more about the book. This would be the setup in which I'm filming. So let me know if that's something you would be interested in, because that's sort of the thing I want to do, like once a month, whenever I've read enough books, like 4 to 5 books, that's when I will update you on what I have been reading. My first book of 2025 is almost read, so that's really good. I didn't read as much as I thought I was going to during the Christmas break, because I just really wanted to chill. I watched so many movies during the Christmas holidays, and I'm now stuck in the middle of a really fun TV series. But I know I will get back to reading very, very soon, and then I will be able to start filling these pages with a bit of junk journaling and a bit of book reviewing. So let me know what you would like to see me do with those pages, if you have any ideas of what I might be able to do. And I thought that this video was just informative, not only on some content that will be coming your way really, really soon, but that you also enjoyed seeing how I set up my reading journal. I thought it would be fun to show it to you when it's still empty, and then just like fill in some of those like trackers and stuff together as well for my monthly wrap-ups. So thank you so very much for joining me here today. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. I do apologize for it coming this late to you, but we have had so much cloud cover in the Netherlands in the past 2 months. It's almost impossible to film some days. So that's why I didn't have any time after filming some of my makeup-y videos over the weekend to sit down to film this. So I'm quickly showing you this now that I have enough daylight. And I hope you are very, very well. Take care, and then I hope to see you again next week when I will be back with a new video. Bye-bye.